Joe, Joe, plug yourself into my dimension
What,
of the
what are you
Matrix.
talking about?
Well,
I don't know what I don't hear anything.
You want to come and join me, like in this part of the
I am
galaxy?
hey, I at least am in this universe.
How is Delta Quadrant tonight, Joe?
It's never been better.
Dude, there's a disturbance in the Force, man.
Oh man, is there ever, dude? I'll tell you what.
We couldn't reset the Freaky Friday server, dude.
This is two Freaky Fridays in a row now that we've had to come on over here. Not that I care. I mean, I actually like it over here anyway.
But it's upgrades.
What did you say about Jezebel?
I think somebody was I'll check. A Jezebel spirit at work. Could we have some interdimensional goblins on the line?
Oh, I think that there's like a big. Let me tell you something. There is.
Let's get a little freaky. Pack 'em up, guys. Woo.
Woo.
We truly do have the best chat room. It really is.
I know, man. It is. It's,
really
it's fantastic.
Whether it's here.
No, I mean, I don't mind where we do it, but you got it. We got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we'd love to have been on TFR, but we'd set it to
Jezebel
rebroadcast.
thing, I don't understand where that's coming from. Whatever. Roger that. Like, sure. I don't understand the context.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I should be reading it out on air. Yeah, so I don't want to go any further and betray anyone's confidence by reading something out on air. But yeah, we're here.
Yeah, no, I get it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I just don't understand why the comparison or that's being made. That's all.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I don't see it.
Yeah, well, but here, we're here, you know, by hook or by crook. We've got the chat room filling up nicely. We've got all of our members in there. See the mods coming in there. And of course, it's Friday, Joe, right? And it's time to get a little bit freaky. But I know it's a special day for my mum today, Joe.
Oh, so, yes. Happy birthday, Pearly. It's a great day to be a year older.
I know.
Hot diggity dog. What? And to do it on a Friday. Ah.
Well, technically Saturday over here. You see,
Saturday.
Come on,
yes,
Joe.
Saturday.
Time zones, man. Yeah. Time zones, remember? You know?
Well, time is all relative, of course.
I never get to do a Freaky Friday per se because technically it's always on the Saturday. But you know what, dude? I got to hang out with. Guess who I was hanging out with earlier, man? Come on, guess. Drum roll.
Are you ready? You ready? Ready? Doc Miller, yeah.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Yeah, I was lucky enough to be co-hosting with Ella today. And
I'm so glad.
And for anyone in the chat room, you know, we need to really kind of grow Ella's show because she gets some cracking guests on there. The dude that captured Saddam and things. And if you like the people I interview and some of the stuff me and Joe get up to, you're definitely going to like that show. So check that out over on TFR every Friday at 11 a.m. on the West Coast. But yeah, today, Doc Miller, Joe. And he still goes on about Miller time. That must be like 4 or 5 years ago, dude.
And you know what? We're going to have him back on because we need to resurrect Miller time. And it's kind of weird how we kind of lost track of Doc Miller and
I had
everything.
Him on about a month ago.
That's kind of how he rolls, you know? He does his thing. That's the best way I can describe Doc Miller. Very free flowing.
Because I had him on, when was it? About a month or so ago. And oh man, he's on form. Absolute form, dude. And yeah,
I remember listening to that and thinking that's not the Doc Miller I remember. You know, like he's seriously.
The Doc Miller that I got today was
a lot more with it. I guess you could say he was very more, much more quick-witted.
Yeah,
which is like, that's amazing because anything we can do to keep him on form,
he's got an interesting story, dude. You know, I mean, you talk about a Freaky Friday. That guy's life story. You go through some of the things that he's worked on, some of the technologies that he was privy to seeing, you know, taking place when they were in their research and development phase, you know. Just a wealth of like real first-hand information.
And now in like the twilight of his life, right? He's taken up gardening.
Yeah.
And doing a lot of really cool stuff with sustainable growing and I think, incredible work.
What's he call
So-
himself? Like some kind of warrior or an anarchist, agriculturist, or something like that. Something cool like that, anyway, man. But yeah, he's on it. Well on it, dude.
So yeah, I'm excited. So we'll have him back on, folks. And really, you gotta love Doc Miller.
I'm just trying to find him on my Richard Miller. Try to find him on my hang. Just see. We'll pull him up for a second in case anyone hasn't seen the doc before. Guy's a legend, man.
Not specifically.
Right, here we go. I'll pull him in here. There he is. Joe, there's our
head curve, please, if you will.
there's the doc there, folks.
Is mandatory. If it's possible, you can count on it. And so, Smart Meter said, end-game weapon, right out of the gate. How many people in your neighborhood? I don't need law enforcement anymore. All I need is an AI to identify from DNA who to target. Have a single person go in there with scopolamine, and now you've got an army of zombies to enforce.
See? Look at that. He's talking about the devil's breath. And he's absolutely right. You know, Kev, there's been a lot of talk about that. And
a lot of talk, Joe.
If that would get weaponized, what that could do. Look what it does to people when they get mugged and things like that. Didn't we just talk about that? That rich guy that got like his whole apartment emptied?
This is the weird thing, right? Because we obviously didn't plan on like playing that little clip. And if you've seen it, it was like a random part of the video. I mean, look at it. It's like, what, 20 odd minutes in? I had no idea we were going to play a clip of a part about the drug we were talking about just on a stream last week. That's weird.
I know. He's one of us. He really is. Folks, he's batshit crazy. But you know what? In such a good way. And that's all I can say. I mean, he is just a wealth of knowledge. So I'm so glad he'll be coming back. This is going to be awesome. I love Doc Miller.
I think we'll get him for a weekend stream.
Yeah, we're going to have to because we got to have him with his hair down.
Yeah.
Like literally, he's got to put the Curious George hat away.
He doesn't put
I'm going to tell him that. He does. He looks like freaking Curious George.
But Joe, before we get into it, man, I mean, me and you, we're going toe to toe, right?
Yeah.
We're going to take UFC to the next level, are we not?
Oh, abso-freaking. Did you like that, dude? Huh?
There you go, man.
I've been bringing it the last couple of weeks.
There you go, man. Yep, myself and Joe. Joe has a habit of making fun of me over on social media. Or
I don't know what you're talking about there.
No, dude, listen, go with me, right? I like it because think of how it's affecting the algorithm. It must have no idea what to make of the dude tagged Kev Baker. Because I rarely engage on Facebook anymore. So really, it's filling the information gaps with people that tag me, i.e. you. So now it might actually
and everything that I tag you in is totally ridiculous.
Exactly, dude. Exactly, you know?
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, yeah. That algorithm thinks Kev Baker comes up and it's like, it just starts losing its core.
Dude,
Same thing with me because I never post anything.
Dude, I'd kick your ass, man. I'd kick you. I might not look it, right? But, you know.
Look at that. No way.
British Army, trained killer, and be the best.
Look at. I have large pectoral muscles.
Dude, I mean, look at that chin. I can take a punch for Scotland, dude. That is
glass chin, glass.
That comes from the ancestral kind of DNA of William Wallace. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's why the Romans turned back, dude.
How the hell are you? William Wallace was at least what? He was a giant, I think.
Well, we've gone over the claymores before, the big swords that are
That's
like.
what I'm saying. So I would like to see you. Wait a minute. That claymore is taller than you. How the hell are you going to wield it?
Never. I would need like two of me to carry it into battle for some big dude to use.
That's what I'm saying. You are more of the halfling line from pre-flood.
The halfling. Oh, that sounds really good, doesn't it? Folks, while Joe's abusing me here for being a halfling, for being a half man, right? And I'll prove I'm not half man in a minute. But hit share, hit like, and that's how we get the algorithm kind of interacting with us, get ourselves noticed here on the stream, and let's get these numbers pumping. Let's get people over to see Joe abusing me. You know, Joe, you can't be offensive on...
I am not being offensive at all. This is purely family entertainment.
I know, but you can't pick on, like, little groups. And since you're discriminating me for my height,
I
I'm
am
literally
not
in a little
discriminating.
group. I'm in a little
I'm
group.
merely pointing out a physical characteristic. I am not in any way discriminating against small people.
You think so?
I am
Bad hair
serious
day
as a heart
today,
attack.
man.
I'm just saying that it's less than probable that you could wield William Wallace's two-handed claymore.
You want me to bring that up again just for a quick look at it? Because it's...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well,
I don't
this way,
get it.
dude. I'm 6'1", and I couldn't wield his freaking claymore. So it doesn't matter. It's what I'm saying. It's like this guy was beast, dude.
Look at this thing, man.
And we are not.
Look at that.
Look at that. What am I supposed to do with that?
Me, I'm going to have to drag that.
It's like you could joust that. You know, that's what you get on a horse with and joust.
I don't get it, dude. And like I say, when you look around Glasgow and things like that, the majority, I mean, you'd actually say the average size is below average here, okay? So
Okay.
What happened to the DNA from these people that were running about fighting the English with these things, winning occasionally?
Do you think the Japanese were always short?
But when you look at samurai swords, I mean, they're not like giant. I mean, somebody my size can use a samurai sword, right?
But I think that this is just a natural. Maybe humans were a lot taller back in the day, and we've been slowly but surely over time shrinking. I wonder if anybody tracks that, like average height.
Let's see.
Hey brothers, Kev, what's happening with TFR?
Absolutely nothing, dude. It's just server upgrades at the server end, and it's actually, there is live shows over there today, but we'd set to rebroadcast last week, and for some reason it's not setting us to live. It's just, honestly, by the end of the weekend, all of these glitches will be out of the way.
And also, it's the other thing is we just didn't want to rebroad and not do something.
Yeah,
so we can't over here. That's all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Somebody's calling me Shorty in the chat war. Absolutely, dude. This is the funny thing, right? Because you've got me, I'm like a half pint, and then you've got Kevin, my son, and he's like the kind of dude.
What happened with him?
Yeah, he's the kind of dude that can use the sword.
Right?
What's
so
that?
I guess two halves make a whole?
In this case, very much so. Definitely.
Yeah, because he's a freaking giant compared to you guys.
Yeah, like size 13.
How tall is he?
6'2". He's 16, 17.
Oh!
Yeah. Maybe. And is he taller than... I think he is, isn't he?
I bet you guys he put one of you on each of his shoulders.
Easily, Joe. I missed my opportunity to take him out the back and give him a good beating. See, I'll probably get the jail for saying that in Scotland. I'm joking, folks.
No, I'm telling you, man. You might actually he might actually give you a run for your money now.
Run for my money? Dude, I'd have to be running. Yeah.
Done.
Just one hammer shot and that would be it over, Joe.
That's it.
Seriously, it'd be done. So what are we getting into tonight then, man?
Let's talk about okay, so what do we want to do first?
It's up to you.
Do you want fear porn? Do you want eco porn? Do you want politi-porn?
Need to make the most of that kind of content, Joe. You do know they're outlawing that come the 15th of July over here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So no more of that. Nah. So if that's the case, let's talk about some wacky weather going on because this kind of caught my eye.
What's happening, dude?
You would have to tell me what's happening, my man, because over in the UK, you have experienced something that you don't normally experience, and that is a tornado. I didn't realize you guys get tornadoes over there.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? It's like one of these freak things that happens. You get a story from time to time. But the reason this caught my eye more so today is the fact that there's freak weather going on around the world, Joe.
Certainly.
You know, you got parts of India that are absolutely on fire.
122 degrees.
Yeah.
Holy crap-oly, man. It's melting asphalt.
Hang on. See what you've started, Joe. Now, Kristen, somebody who normally respects me, okay? You start on this whole heightist agenda that you have. And now Kristen is... Yeah, heightist. Do you like that one? Do you like that?
Oh, my goodness.
And now Kristen is saying just probably has to sit on a pillow to see over the steering wheel. You see, now they think I need a booster seat, dude. You see
I'll bet you. Do you have a pillow on your seat?
No, I'm offended, man. I'm offended.
Do you have a pillow on your seat now?
No. Oh, I'm going to end up leather. They say I need a booster seat out. I tell you, Joe, man, like an assassin. Honestly, like an assassin. Even Anne's sitting going, don't do it, Kev, don't do it. He doesn't deserve it. Honestly, you don't want to trigger me, man.
No, I don't want to trigger you. You're absolutely right. So, speaking of triggered, do you think that this weather could have possibly been triggered?
Always a possibility now, Joey, with them.
Yeah?
I mean, we're living in an atmosphere that's artificial. You know, when you look at it, it's been tinkered with that much. So is any weather like properly normal anymore? I don't know, man.
Well, I'm glad that you say that, because in conjunction with, and let's go over this this tornado that occurred, because it's, first of all, what caught me is, I guess there's a festival in Isle of Wight, and it was a washout because of tornado and heavy rain that left people swimming in the mud, it said. And I'm looking at some of these pictures, and one picture is of two adolescent females in a mud puddle with a tornado funnel cloud behind them, and them just like holding that, yay, look at us, yay. And maybe it's because they don't experience this enough to understand that that's not something you don't fear. If like you have a fear of mortality at all, that's one of those moments when it should kick in.
But Joe, you know, I mean, we've all seen the movies, right? We all should know what's happening when tsunami time's getting ready to rumble. But how many stories do you hear about people, you know, looking on, you know, in amazement when the sea draws out, and they're all sitting there taking selfies and taking pictures and things, when in reality they should be running as far inland as possible, dude.
And honest to God, hasn't anybody seen the movie Twister, for God's sake? I thought Bill Paxton was a big guy in the UK.
Yeah, that was a good film. That was a good film, dude. See, for the time.
You've seen that? Why aren't you scared?
Back in the day, the effects that they were doing in that movie, that was like top notch, man.
I mean, that guy was a turd in Weird Science. How couldn't you love him?
It's one of the things I'd like to do, though, bucket list. And I feel bad saying this.
Weird Science again?
No, I feel bad saying this because Scott lives like in Tornado Alley. But I would love to go storm chasing, dude. I really would. I think it'd be an adrenaline rush.
Badass, especially if we could do it like A-Team. You remember the classic A-Team? No, you may not. But back in the day, in the early 80s, A-Team was the shiznit. And so every episode, right, they were these Vietnam vets.
Dude, are you trying to say I don't remember the A-Team? Come on, man.
The real one, though, you know, with Mr. T and stuff. Okay, so you remember every episode, man, they had to build.
They would like be locked in a barn, and they would make things out of like toilet seats.
Yes, out of toilet seats, but it turned into like a battle tank. So that's what I'm saying. We could do that, but we'd have to live stream it. In every episode, we'd have to build a new battle tank to go to war with the tornado.
That'd be kind of cool. We could do like a cross America kind of road trip, just stopping off at places, getting new things to put on the truck. I like it, Joe.
I do too, man. I think that would be pretty cool.
We could even like stop at old asylums and things on the way and do some ghost hunting too.
Old asylums and tornado chasing.
That's unique, man.
That's kind of like the U-Haul and Flowers, that kind of store. It's the same thing.
You see, look at that, dude. Look at that.
Chasing,
look at that.
And paranormal experts.
Ella survived the Doc Miller experience. She's in the chat room. I was just telling everyone, really? Ella, how good a show that was, and yeah, we'll get the Doc on here sometime real soon. But Joe, you've got crazy weather happening over there, right?
Well, over here with me, it's just god awful wet all the time. It's super wet. El Nino rearing its ugly head. However, Scotty's getting just absolutely leathered with bad weather and tornadoes, and it's one of the more active tornado seasons in the Midwest and the South, like Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, is seeing an increase in that kind of stuff. And if you ask me, honest to God, I don't know how people live out there. I just don't. It's as rare as tornadoes are in the grand scheme of things. The devastation that they wreak, it just, I don't know how you take those kind of chances, but people do, and more power to them. I can't do that. I can't do that.
I don't know, dude. I wouldn't sleep easy at night. Definitely not, man.
It's like kind of, one of those things that I'd like to visit, but it's not some place I'd like to live. That kind of thing. Like New Orleans, right? You always want to visit, but you just don't ever want to live there.
Yeah, when we were there, when we were in Florida with the army, it was like, I think it was the weekend before Mardi Gras. It was like a pre-Mardi Gras thing. I had the chance to go, but no, we ended up going to one of the touristy kind of Orlando, Disney World kind of trips. But it is a place I would like to see, definitely, New Orleans.
Yeah, just one of those places you'd like to go, but you certainly wouldn't want to live there once you get there.
No, definitely not, dude. Definitely not.
But that's kind of what we're facing, is just these interesting active weather patterns. And I wonder if there hasn't been, because we talked about and have talked about chemtrails for probably close to 20 years. Griff and I can't remember who else it was that did it with him in 99 started writing about, and Carnicom too. Carnicom's website goes back to 99.
He kind of backed it with science, like the tests and things.
Huge. So 99 is, but you can go farther back. Like, what was the movie that had it in there? It was a Short Circuit, I think it was. One of the Short Circuit movies. There was a scene in San Francisco or in Washington, and there was chemtrails all over the sky.
We've got an incoming. From Roosevelt, and I urge everyone check out his channel.
Yeah, check out Roosevelt's channel for sure.
Share this out on Twitter, Yal.
Yeah, the Twitter algorithm likes kind of Kev Baker's show, I think. I was talking to you about algorithms before the show, Joe, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder what people's experience is out in the chat room, but you were tagging people in a post.
I tried, but you're right, it doesn't work.
Does it even work? What's the point? Do you think those eyeballs, those people get to actually see that on their stream,
If it does, it doesn't really translate.
And just let me ask you this. Do you think Facebook is as popular with people now as it was maybe a year or so ago? Do you think I don't think it is. I think some of the scandals, some of the stuff that's come out about privacy and things, I think it's done a lot to kind of shake people a little bit and rethink their social media use. I have to think that. That's one of the kind of the optimistic views I have to take about things,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think it has near the power anymore. It's been totally neutered. And oftentimes I wonder if we're not just talking to ourselves. For instance, I put out that just that post on Facebook before the broadcast.
Give me 2 secs, joking.
And I tagged 26 people just as a test because you had said that, and I don't really do that too often. So I go ahead and I did that, and like 6 people have responded to it, and out of them, I would say 2 were the people that I tagged, because I know anything I put out is going to be like, the brakes are going to be put on it. So I don't even bother anymore. And really, it's because, this is part of that whole censorship or clamping down. They don't like people that speak their mind or have dissenting opinions or don't talk about like salamanders and happy unicorns and my kitten did this today and anything that's really pointless. It's just more noise. But if it has to do with anything of substance or anything that seeks to, help humanity in any sort of way, well, forget it. They just, that stuff gets buried. And the algorithm, of course, is so advanced, these algorithms that are used, and the machine learning is getting so good that it can truly go and manage it down to the personal level. It's there already. So anybody with aspirations of utilizing it for any sort of noble cause or anything like that, the train has left the station. that time has passed and it's gone. And so the only way that you can generate a following or do anything like that is organic. You have to literally do it old school, utilizing some of this new technology, but social media is not the platform for it to be, or at least on the major social media platforms. So then you say, well, wow, look at this. They've got a legislation or an investigation going on, antitrust investigation into these social media platforms, and maybe they'll bust them up. Well, it doesn't matter if they bust them up. Even if they do bust them up, what do you bust them into? And then, are you making these entities more powerful really by doing so? And oftentimes that ends up being the case. Really, I think ultimately, Kev, the biggest problem that we have is the chasm between the haves and the have-nots. The wealth is so uber concentrated now in Silicon Valley and overseas, for that matter, that
come on, Joe, come on, stop taking a swipe at Silicon Valley. I've got pals there, right? Can't talk bad about tech.
No, I just saw a piece that people were surveyed, quite a few people. I want to say like 1,000 to 1,500. They were surveyed, and they say basically the majority said that they're actually worse off now, today, than they were before the Great Recession. So, meaning that A, they didn't recover, and B, things are bad now than they were when they last viewed it being prosperous. That over 10 years ago. So what does that say? That says that any sort of prosperity hasn't been experienced by the common folk, by the middle or lower class people. It's all by Wall Street. That's the only people gaining, by anybody that has that ability to go and play big. And that's just not many people. All that wealth is now concentrated. So yeah, it's wreaking havoc on society. And so these wealthy people now want to clamp down on any dissenting opinions about anything that gets in the way of their business model of the world. And so they're doing it. And it benefits governments, and governments are who seeded these big corporations. So they're not going to go and destroy the things they work so hard to build. And I don't know what the hell is going to what it's going to take to stop it.
Well, Joe,
I don't know if it can be stopped.
Funny you bring this up, right? Because I cover so many topics and so many different guests on and things, sometimes I don't notice what's going on my very own doorstep. So my mum started telling me about this thing, right? She's going on about how we'll all start getting this set amount of money from the government. And alarm bells start going off in my head, right? And they're not just talking about, but it's looking pretty realistic. Like the universal basic income is coming to Scotland. Now, I find this interesting for so many reasons, but if I cast my mind back to before the Scottish referendum, a few years ago now, you'll maybe remember me saying that our previous leader, Alex Salmond, I used to use one of his quotes all the time, and he was really proud of it, and the SNP were really proud of it, but he said he was like really looking forward to using Scotland as a guinea pig, almost like a test country for globalist agendas. Okay. And now here we come, a few years on, and like the BBC are reporting here, basic income, you're talking something in the region of £100 a week for families that are quite hard up right now, which are many. And obviously over time, drip, 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 Joe, as jobs start going as well, this is where we're going. And we've talked about this on a global scale, but little did I know it was coming here. And then I started to dig a little bit deeper, and you start to come to, where is it now? This as well.
There we go to Satan.
Basic Income Scotland. That was a subliminal. Do you see that? So here we go, Basic Income Scotland, and yeah, they've got the website set up for it, but look who supports it. You've got the NHS, Glasgow City Council, North Ayrshire Council. This is government. Yeah, they're going for it, dude.
Well, why not? Well, here's the thing. First of all,
don't get me wrong. I do think we should be taking some of the profits that the countries generate, right?
There's pros and cons, and I'm going to give you the pros, right? The pros are it's 2,400 pounds. You know, it's pro. And if they give it, take it. God only knows how long it's going to be there. Take it. But at least people are having the conversation now that this basically confirms what we've been saying for a long time, that jobs are becoming obsolete, that automation is doing away with a lot of the jobs, and people are suffering. They're already suffering because wages haven't kept up with the cost of living in quite some time, since the 70s. So
I hate to say this, but as an employer, it's a no-brainer, right? You're talking about machines that can work around the clock for...
Of course, dude. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. There's no, from a business standpoint, you really are. I mean, this is the way it's going to be, and that's why you get so many conversations about it, you know?
And remember this. Let's look at history. So back in the roaring 20s here in the United States, it was all the rage to own stock. It started out in and around 1920, where common folk started to buy stocks, and they were proud of it. I'm invested in Wall Street. I own stocks. Everybody down to the guy that bagged the groceries at the local grocer. And I bought my stock today. Have you seen what it's doing? This kind of thing, right? Everybody was proud of it, happy of it. And a lot of people, it was so successful in making money that people bought stocks on credit. And the whole thing that spurred on the Great Depression, and the people that, all the banksters knew it. Remember, it was all that power was concentrated in a few banksters. They pulled the plug, they pulled the rug out from underneath, and there was a margin call, and people couldn't cover the margins because it was all credit. And that's what crashed the market. That was one of the major things that crashed the market and started the Great Panic. So you look at today, things are no different. And everybody and their mother is invested in Wall Street, whether it's 401ks or all these other funds and things like that. And so, Kev, anybody that's publicly traded, there are great expectations of all these companies that have these investors, and investors do not want to lose. They don't really like losing money. So there's more and more pressure on all of these companies and these CEOs to make higher and higher profits. And that means less is more when it comes to us and everything that we get from healthcare.
Joe, that's just what Ange tells you. It's not actually true.
Yeah, and this is how it is now. It's white collar criminality that's now just accepted as okay.
It's okay, dude. It's okay, because we'll be moving into a simulation soon. It's okay. We're gonna
but if you think about it, Kev, Musk is he's right. We are due for a effing reset, a major reset. We're going to bring it on ourselves. Why? Look at what's going on, dude. It's crazy. We're getting to the point now where we're going to radiate ourselves to the point where we won't be able to procreate. Organic life as we know it may not have a chance to exist if the sun doesn't kill us from a solar minimum or solar flare or solar something.
Get this, dude, because funny you say that. Doc Miller today, he was basically saying we need to get the heck out of here and get to Mars soon. And you know how it's hard to kind of pin the doc down on where he's kind of coming from, why he said that and things.
Yeah.
But and it was quite interesting he said that, because the scenario you're painting here, not me, folks, I don't do fear porn, you know that. But the scenario you're painting, Joe, this is something, and it makes you wonder why so many of these billionaires do want to get off the planet, because in reality, right, that's the futures of their children, everything, because the money it's costing these people to actually do this, it's like literally burning rocket fuel away, Joe.
Yeah. Elon Musk is sinking every available penny he's got into SpaceX.
That's what makes it even more interesting, man. Why? You know, what is the motivation there? And I get it. Geordie says he likes to make machines that don't exist. This dude likes to do things that no other human's ever done before. I get it, right? But
yeah, me too, man.
It's almost like there's and we've heard him talking about the AI.
Sense of urgency.
Yep, definite, man.
Sense of urgency. Yeah, so anyway, this
but you know it'd be the best
story it's gonna be very interesting.
It's going to be the best Mars base ever, dude. You know that, right? It's going to be the best Mars base ever. Think how cool it's going to be. He's going to pimp it out with all kinds of things, man.
I don't know if I just don't know how we make it. You'd have to, if you ask me, my humble opinion is you would have to grow your Mars astronauts before you send them. Like this version of human, I don't think it could make a Mars journey. I just don't think we could do it.
You don't think so?
No. I think the solar radiation and everything else is just, it's too much. For a 6-month journey that way, and then you get there and there's like virtually, well, here's the other thing too. We're trusting everything we know about Mars right now on what we've seen from rovers that I can't confirm whether they've been there or not. I've seen some pretty compelling pictures to say that it's Nova Scotia that we see.
You want to see something pretty cool then? This is right on this line, Joe, right? You're going to love this. Anne sent me this yesterday. Now,
okay.
You're talking about, we have to question all the images and stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
No. Look. Super cool, because check that out. It's the Star Trek symbol on the surface of Mars.
See what I'm saying, man? Do you see what I'm saying?
Or is it?
Who knows what it is? It could be a boomerang. It could be an Aussie that went there.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's just, you know, I don't want to make any determinations or assumptions, but I can tell you
that could be absolutely anywhere, dude. And you know what?
Watch. It was John something.
You know, I think they've got rovers up there, but that could be anywhere. That could be absolutely anywhere. Like you say, that could be down here. It could be on Mars. It could be anywhere. It could just be made up on a computer, man.
I watched this movie on Netflix about this guy from the 1800s that gets transported to Mars, and
was it Andy Bashago?
Superhuman strength, and
was it Andy Bashago?
No, it's not Andy Bashago. Damn. But there was like civilizations on Mars, and it was as far back as the 1860s, 1870s, right? And who knows, man? You know.
Exactly.
I'm certainly not going to poo-poo it, but good grief. Could you imagine if we've been lied to on that scale for this long? I mean,
Joe, they've lied to us about everything else, so why wouldn't they?
No, I know, I get it. I get it, but it's like you would think that amateur astronomy, that somebody would be able to identify something.
Hoagland,
if that was the case already.
Well, you've had people talk about Cydonia, right? Alleged kind of structures there. I'm very open to the fact there might have once upon a time.
Me too.
I mean, we don't even know really the age of the planets. We don't know the age of the solar system. We've got a number that we're given.
We know nothing.
We know nothing. Exactly.
Right.
So everything, I'm open to most things, Joe. Just not nothing blue-feathered ones. Had to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows?
Oh my God.
What have you found now?
Let's see here. So I want to go over this a little bit because this is interesting. It says Elon Musk fears civilization will end or will move into a simulation. Video games offer many benefits over real life, particularly the ability to save your progress and take several goes at difficult challenges. Oh, now that would be something. So you might see why humans might retreat from the world of pain and displeasure into a simulated reality where everything is safe. Warm and beautiful. Kev, I like safe, warm, and beautiful.
You see, it's not all bad, Joe. I told you this, man.
But Elon Musk has often suggested that there's a strong chance we're living in a Matrix-style simulation right now. Which, if that's the case, Kev, then why would the new simulation be any different? I mean, I just don't. I understand like what this is saying, but you're going into it kind of blind. Like, we didn't write it. We didn't write any of the games that we play. You don't know the kind of hidden code that's in there or what's, you know what I mean? You'd be signing on to something where, man, I don't know.
I really do think, I mean, I don't think we're going to entirely upload ourselves into something like this, right? But I do think with some kind of brain chip, brain computer interface really soon, I do think we'll be like the Oasis in Ready Player One. There will be another like virtual world that people can go and check out of here for a few hours and go into.
But that would be cool.
Would it though? Would it though? You know, look at Black Mirror, the new season of Black Mirror, episode 1 deals with this. And, you know, they come up with a really kind of weird way of showing it. I get that. However, it makes you think about when you're in this virtual reality that's indistinguishable from here. You know, you can do things you would never do in this meat suit. I don't know, dude. Over time, do you prefer being in the virtual world to this one? What kind of long-term effects does that have on the brain when you check out of this reality for one that's projected literally into your skull? I don't know.
No. I mean, from the technology standpoint, I get it. But then my question is, what's the difference between that and then what we're doing right now? Like, what's the difference there?
Well, there's no, I suppose you could say, one way of looking at it is there's no pain, right? No boundaries. No ramifications for anything you do. You can go in there and do anything. Like Westworld,
I see what you're saying. So you're taking it. Okay. I got you. So it's basically like a holodeck.
Yeah. And life gets kind of hard here, you know, financially, health-wise, maybe something like that. Just not happy. Many people around the world are not happy right now. Hell of a lot. Here's this brilliant.
So you're saying download your consciousness into a.
I don't think. I'm not going for that just yet. I mean, that'll be an elite.
So how could people then escape? So you just plug in and your consciousness goes into that?
To steal from Black Mirror, it's about something the size of a dime.
Yeah.
It just goes on your temple, and you just kind of, when it goes on, you just kind of get pinned back in the chair, and you are away. And they're playing like a Tekken game, you know, fighting and jumping and fire punches and all the rest. It's totally cool if you're a gamer, right? But then it kind of touches on some moral issues, shall we say, not to give anything away.
So that, right. So then basically, if it's written that way, that you can just do whatever you want to do, I guess. But I mean,
well, what's the point in doing it otherwise?
In every game, there's rules, though, right? To an extent,
but
you can only do what it lets you do.
Well, if this is a free roaming, free world game, then the world's your oyster. You can do anything you absolutely want.
So how many games have you ever seen that are like that?
Nowadays, more and more free world.
Is that right?
Where you can free
like
roam.
Minecraft, I can see that, and some of these other things like Roblox, those virtual worlds. I mean, I guess you can say.
I've got a game called Scum, and it's like a post-apocalyptic thing. You're a prisoner.
Keto playground.
You escape, but it's like something like 20 square kilometers of playing area, dude.
Yeah.
If you can simulate that, and this is on, a classical computer, you start getting quantum and brain chip in. Remember, your brain's going to be rendering the graphics.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing is like, I just don't see. I don't know, man. Although I will say that there's like a Chinese company that just came out and talked about they've got a patented brain computer interface.
I mean, you could go ghost busting like out the movie, dude.
I get it. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I'm not against it. My thing is like it can't be something that's permanent.
But the chances are, Joe,
like this is still the real world.
But you're missing it though. You're missing the whole kind of point. If we're building a simulation that's indistinguishable from reality, Wacky, this looks pretty realistic. This all looks pretty lifelike. how the hell do we know this isn't just a really good simulation? You don't. So that's why if you get to the point.
No, I get it.
Yep.
I get it. I'm there, dude. I just don't. I don't know what.
I do.
How
think,
do you break free of it? You know.
I don't think there is breaking free of it though. I don't even think our stupid brains can even conceptualize what we're talking about.
No,
like I was saying to the doc today, right?
We survive in this. We can't live outside of this.
But people say time, it's not real, everything at once. What is time? Well, time's what we've kind of come up with in our head, and that's limited. You know, look at the size of our brains, really, and we're trying to work out this thing on a cosmic scale.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Maybe we're just giving ourselves more credit than we're due, because I don't think we have a clue about much of it when it comes to that stuff. Maybe getting a glimpse behind the curtain when it comes to quantum and stuff like that. You start talking about other dimensions and all that stuff. Maybe we're starting to get close, but even then, are we? It's just the way we interpret it.
No, not to mention the fact that, again.
And then you've got the Ooga Boogas that are out there in a different vibration, a different kind of frequency as well. So where do they come into all of it? Since it is Freaky Friday, you need Ooga Boogas, right?
You got to have Ooga Boogas, but they operate at a different, let's just call it a different frequency. I look at this whole thing as like we've said before, pages in a book, or like a multiplex signal that's just going through space-time, if you will, and they're a different layer. They're on a different frequency than us. So I don't know. That's why we can't see them or interpret them or experience them. So I don't know.
Unless you're Bill Bean fighting them every day.
Well, no. I mean, they'll make themselves present. Believe me, they'll show themselves if you want them to. But it's not something you want to screw with. It's really not.
No,
when you start to engage them, you have to remember, once they latch themselves onto you, they're there for the get-go. They're there.
No, I remember talking with somebody, and we were talking about shadow people. Remember I seen the shadow person in my house and really shat myself?
Yes.
Oh, dude. I mean, I don't know what the shadow person is. If it's like truly something evil, whether it's just some kind of bleed through from another universe. I have no idea. Good,
Kev. It ain't good.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It certainly didn't feel like it was about to hand out any candy. You know what I mean?
No.
So I don't know what's going on, dude. But
it ain't good.
And again, it all comes back to the fact I just don't think we can work out what's going on. Maybe we're not meant to.
It's not even that. Just think about it for a second. The creator operates outside of the creation.
Yeah, it's like a coder.
Yeah, thank you. Very much so. Very much so.
You don't get the guy who makes the game living in the game to make it. He's outside of it.
That's right. That's right.
Or
so
she,
that's
or
the way I
Joe,
look at it.
hang on. Or she, or any of the 45
what
other
the fuck ever.
given...
All
Joe,
I'm saying
I
is
have
that
to be algorithm friendly. Come on now. Play the game, Joe. Play the game.
I'm saying that the creator operates outside the box. That we cannot operate outside the box because we were created inside the box.
But Joe, there is no box.
Oh, Lord Jesus, have mercy.
Have I melted your brain yet, Joe? Come on, man. Let's just say, folks, Joe has been partaking in a little bit of the hypothetical.
The hypothetical, yeah.
Look, even the Wookiee knows you've been at it, dude. Look at him. You know what I mean?
He's grown quite a bit of hair, the Wookiee.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
I resurrected him. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. He's not as big as he used to be, but
voodoo magic doesn't work quite as good. But better some Wookiee than none.
Oh, I see Scott Lopez in the chat room. Well, his emoji.
Exactly, yeah.
Nana. Well, wait a minute. Nana says, I saw shadow people on Chantix, remember? Now listen.
Now, wait a minute. So that right there, dude, that was a bad time in your life.
But it's not. Yep, it certainly was. But everyone you speak to who's tried that stuff, and it's Chantix in America, it's Champix over here. It's the same bloody thing in a different wrapper. But what I said to you was it had like some kind of temporal, if that's a temporal shift. Time was different. And when you went to sleep, You
If you
literally,
went to sleep.
it was too real, Joe. Far too real. It was.
You said the nightmares were awful, huh?
Yeah, and when it wasn't nightmares, you were like going back to people you haven't seen for years, and it was so again
Vivid.
like that simulation we were talking about a moment ago. Just indistinguishable from reality. It was almost like, and I'm saying it was almost like, I'm not saying it was, but it was like you were there.
And it's consistent? Would you say it was consistently heavy dreams like that?
Yeah. I told you about the old woman who didn't want to come off it because she was a widow, and it was the first time she'd seen her husband and felt at ease since he had passed. And she didn't want to come off it. And there's Nana talking about shadow people there. You seen me, dude. I was in a bad way on that. Everyone gets in a bad way on that thing.
What does that do in your brain then?
So what does that do in your brain? Does it affect your third eye in some way? Does it bring down some kind of shield? I don't know, man. It's weird. It's dangerous. Dangerous juju, that stuff, man.
I often think about alcohol and how it's often referred to as spirits because of it opens you up to attack, demonic attack. It opens because you lose control of yourself, of your mind, there's so many things you lose control of when you do that stuff. So I wonder if that doesn't also do something to a point where it maybe, I can't say necessarily lose control, but maybe opens you up to susceptibility to different frequencies or something. Kev, I don't know, but I can tell you, you were noticeably shaken by the whole experience. I mean, that was something else, man, having to see you go through that.
And then there was the sleep deprivation on the other side because you avoid it. Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah, I don't understand. See, now this comes from a guy that when I'm awake, I am go, 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 go until I drop. And when I drop, man, my head hits the pillow. Even before the head hits the pillow, I'm going night-night. I'm out. So, I don't understand.
I would say that actually post-Chantix, personal experience, I would say I'm slightly different after all that. Slightly.
Oh, dude, you have to be. It's almost like PTSD, dude.
Yeah.
I got to think it's got to be like that.
It's no sympathy vote or anything like that, but honestly, I do think that kind of makes you different.
There's no doubt.
And somebody in the chat room, Maureen, thanks for sharing, but she says, my 29-year-old army vet committed suicide on Chantix almost 3 years ago.
See?
I mean,
I'm telling you, man, some of that stuff, I used to be, I don't know. I think that we got to be very careful. You just have to be very careful about that kind of stuff. And that Chantix, the fact that they force you on it, I think is pretty difficult. There's got to be other things that you can try. Why they poo-poo vaping so much and all that kind of stuff, I just don't know. Ange just said that her sister tried that Chantix stuff and it really messed her up.
And anyone out there, if you're on the Chantix or somebody on Chantix, ask them if they're all right. Check on them because maybe they're sitting suffering.
They could be suffering in silence, like Kev.
Oh, that's how big an effect it can have on you, And don't be proud if there's something, because these tablets are dangerous, man. Dangerous. And I remember we'd actually spoke about them maybe a year or so before I got them, Joe. Remember we had spoke about them with Popeye and things, about these crazy kind of anti-smoking tablets that kind of drive you off your head. And then when I first got offered them, I walked in knowingly, I knew, and they were very good at warning you some of the side effects, Joe. Don't get me wrong. But I tell you what, wow, man.
I got a great way to make smoking plummet in the UK. The same way it happened here in the US. You have to pay more of your health care costs. If you guys didn't have publicly funded health care, I bet you smoking would plummet a lot faster.
But then, Joe, would you also have an uptick like this?
Oh, but that's right. Well, see, but you would, though, because OD, you just go to the hospital and you're all right, whereas us, we'll get like a $200,000 bill because you haven't met your deductible yet.
And I can tell you, when I was younger, I mean, Yeah, it was about, don't get me wrong, you could get your hands on anything. It's not the backwaters here. But more so, like recent years, past 3 or 5 years, something like that. Wow,
It's
dude.
made a big comeback. So last time I checked, the coca tree doesn't actually grow a lot in the UK, right?
No, you won't see me taking any selfies by the cocoa tree.
No,
No,
so you guys aren't exactly.
It's right beside the mango grove. None of them either.
I mean, you are, yeah, you are getting tornadoes and stuff. So I
But
mean, maybe you are going tropical.
Then again, Joe, we're not exactly a big nation for poppies, but we've got a hell of a heroin problem. So hey,
That's
go
what I'm
figure.
saying. So okay, so now, according to this study, and this is not a small study. 80% out of 8,500 people say that they took cocaine or crack.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude. You know what? And in the 80s, there was a big cocaine problem, they say, in the United States. I don't buy it. I don't think it's a problem, personally. I think that if you decriminalize things, that you would have so much less of a problem. Anytime, and we should have learned this a long time ago, but we're assholes that don't pay attention to our own history. If you outlaw anything or tell human beings you can't do something, they will do it more. Just because that's what we do.
Isn't it weird, man? But isn't that what's brought us to where we are today as well, you know?
Prohibition never works. It always has the opposite effect. It doesn't work, and it only creates more bullshit. So what do? Legalize it. Not even legalize it, decriminalize it, and just look it, they're already doing it with pot. Now there's cities decriminalizing mushrooms. Look at, if you're doing that, go full Monty. Go full Monty.
Well,
take all those law enforcement resources and put it to retraining, getting people jobs in areas that aren't losing and bleeding people to technology, and or help with whatever hole they have inside them, whatever they're trying to fill that void with a substance, with booze, wherever their problem lies. Make the funding available for them to get help. That's all you've got to do. You've got to correct the problems. Don't treat the symptom, fix the problem. The problem is they're in pain somewhere. They got a void somewhere. So fix it. Not go ahead and beat them over the head and send them to jail. That's not the problem. It's a mental issue. It's a spiritual issue. It could be a physical issue. It's something where people have gone, they may have asked for help, they were turned away or whatever, and now they've resorted to the street. That's the question I've always asked. What happens when you need help and you can't get it? What do you do? What do you do? The answer is different for everybody.
Yep.
And the problem is nobody is exempt. And nobody is holier than thou, because you never know when you're going to face that situation. You just don't.
Oh, Joe, I like this. You'll like this as well. Somebody in the chat room, our favorite family, a Rothschild agenda.
What is it now?
It's a Rothschild agenda, dude.
What is?
All of this that's going on.
Yeah.
It is. And we've got a story about the Illuminati, man. We've got one of them as well. If I can find it. You pulled it up today. What's going on in it, dude?
The secret covenant of the Illuminati.
Yes.
Now, this is Humans Are Free.
Since somebody mentioned the Rothschilds, it made me think of it, you know.
Oh, my. And this is something else. It says, the information in the secret covenant was sent to me by a reader.
Wait. So the secret covenant just kind of turned up on somebody's like email box by an anonymous reader.
You know what, dude? If you can come up with something that it will get printed on some website somewhere, it's okay. So let's not let the facts get in the way of a good story. It is Freaky Friday after all.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
So it says here, some conspiracy researchers believe that this secret covenant was written by a member of the Illuminati. They won't identify themselves, though, for fear of embarrassment. I do not know if the information in the secret covenant is authentic. I can answer that. Probably not. However, if the Illuminati were to create a secret agreement.
So no, I like this.
Okay. This is the kind of information they would write on their secret agreement. Why? Because this person obviously is an expert.
So if we were to make it up, it would sound something like this.
Sound like this.
Brilliant.
Now it says, before reading the secret covenant, you may want to know the covert definition of covenant, not the real one, the covert one. It says the common definition of the word covenant is an agreement, usually formal, between two or more persons to do or not do something specified. It says it's important to know that the word covenant is often used in religious rituals. One of these religious rituals is baptism. And when somebody's baptized, that person is considered to have entered a covenant with the Lord. Actually, that's not what it means at all, but we'll go with that.
I actually thought that it was kind of implying if you'd been baptized, you were in the Illuminati. I was going to ask, where's my paycheck?
You know what's funny about that? Let me explain. This is one of those big misconceptions. This is why people poo-poo religion so much, because they get the wrong information. So, see, and this is what makes this whole article suck already for me, but I'm going to go with it anyway because
yeah, man, yeah, it's good
because
work.
Like I said, let's not get the facts in the way of a good story.
Because in the end of the day, right, in the end of the day, we know there are these secret groups out there.
Absolutely.
And that is, I mean, me and Joel make fun of this because the Illuminati's become one of these kind of conspiracy tropes. That you can, there's so much said about it, but how much truth is actually out there? But again, that doesn't take away from the fact that you do get these people meeting in shady rooms.
They do.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Absolutely. So, and some of them have similar. It's like Bernays said. There are men out there, men of industry, all this kind of stuff that do these things, but they don't know each other.
Yep.
Never met. But somehow, some way, they're all going in that same general direction.
It's like an army, dude.
I know what's behind it, and I get it. But I'm saying that these people out here that do this, well, a reader sent it to me, and we can't verify its authenticity. But if the Illuminati were to write a secret covenant, by God, this is what it would sound.
And they would go to a website called Humans Are Free. They would.
Okay,
this is where they would go.
So, but that's okay. So, all things aside, baptism. The Hebrew word for baptism is to mikvah. Mikvah, right?
Let me grab a coffee, dude. It'll be 2 seconds.
Sure. 2 seconds. We're going to wait 2 seconds for the Kev. While we're doing that, mikvah is the cleansing, to cleanse, to bathe, to wash away. So what you do when you mikvah, first of all, you don't have to, it's not a ritual thing or anything like that. It is anytime you feel dirty, spiritually dirty, you can go and mikvah and wash those away and basically pray, that I messed up, all this kind of stuff. I mikvah, I baptize, that whatever. That's what it does. It washes. Basically, it's your way of reconnecting with God. That's what that's for. It is not a covenant, blah, 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 like they're trying to make it here. A baptism in fire. It's not like that. But anyway, here, my friends, is the secret covenant via Omnithought. An illusion it will be, so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We will create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we're not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time, so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always and will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to who he speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways, so they will never see what's happening. We'll use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed in poison everywhere they turn. Oh, this is crazy. The soft metals will cause them to lose their mind. We will promise to find a cure for our many fronts. Yet we will feed them more poison.
Chemtrails.
I know, yeah. The poison will be absorbed through their skins and mouths. They will destroy their minds and reproductive systems. From all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information.
It's a bit dark.
It is. It's very dark. The poison will be hidden in everything that surrounds them, in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing this poison, for they can see far.
You know,
We will eat. Yes.
I get it, but
But I know it's awful.
It's
This is so
awful,
crazy.
dude.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? This is why. Do you remember a while back? I read to you the what was it?
well,
It
somebody
was
in the chat room
Jesuit
says
Oath.
I go and make a coffee, and all of a sudden, Joe Joseph starts channeling Paul
Now-
Begley.
So you remember the Jesuit Oath, right? Do you remember me
yeah.
going through that, Kev?
Yeah, that's some weird stuff. I'll bring that up, dude. That's weird. I'll find
Okay,
that
so
on
I'm
here.
going to bring that up because I think that whoever wrote that, they probably heard of the Jesuit Oath, and it sounds very similar in nature to the Jesuit Oath. And that is, yeah, it just doesn't, to me, it's just kind of crazy. Now, this is the Jesuit extreme oath of induction.
Now, they do say, Joe, this is a conspiracy
This
theory.
is also a conspiracy, right? Absolutely.
And of course, for anyone out there, the Jesuits, they're like the scientific ninjas of the Vatican, right?
Right.
Right. Got you.
Now, the following is the Jesuit oath of induction given only to high-ranking Jesuits, much like, your high-ranking Masons and all that. All these clubs, all these little clubs have their high-ranking individuals where they do their stuff. The Masons, they all do it. So anyway, this oath is taken from the book Subterranean Rome by Carlos Didier, translated from the French and published in New York in 1843. Now, and it's also in the Library of Congress. It was actually read into the congressional record.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Come on. Give us your
It says,
oath.
when a Jesuit of the minor rank is to be elevated to command, he is conducted into the chapel of the covenant of the order, where they are only 3 others present, the principal or superior standing in front of the altar. On either side stands a monk, one of whom holds a banner of yellow and white, which are the papal colors, and the other a black banner with a dagger and a red cross above a skull and crossbones with the words INRI, and below them the words I stum necar reges impious, the meaning of which is it is just to exterminate or annihilate impious or heretical kings, governments, or rulers. Now upon the floor is a red cross on which the postulant or candidate kneels. The superior hands him a small black crucifix, which he takes in his left hand and presses to his heart. And the superior at the same time presents to him a dagger, which he grasps by the blade and holds the point against his heart. The superior still holding it by the hilt, and thus addresses the postulant. Ready?
Here we go. Hang on. You got to get yourself in the mood for this, dude. We could be like tying ourselves to some like crazy cult here if we listen to you reading out this thing. So I want to get myself ready, man.
Okay. It says, my son, heretofore you have been taught to act the dissembler among Roman Catholics, to be a Roman Catholic, and to be a spy even among your own brethren, to believe no man, to trust no man. Among the reformers, to be a reformer. Among the Huguenots, to be a Huguenot. Among the Calvinists, to be a Calvinist. among the other Protestants, generally to be a Protestant, and obtaining their confidence, to seek even to preach from their pulpits and to denounce with all the vehemence in your nature our holy religion and the Pope, and even to descend so low as to become a Jew among Jews. Wow. That you might be enabled to gather together all information for the benefit of your order as a faithful soldier of the Pope. You have been taught to insidiously plant the seeds of jealousy and hatred between communities, provinces, states that were at peace, and incite them to deeds of blood, involving them in war with each other, and to create revolutions and civil wars in countries that were independent and prosperous, cultivating the arts and the sciences, and enjoying the blessings of peace. To take sides with the combatants and to agree secretly with your brother Jesuit, who might be engaged on the other side, but openly opposed to that which you might be connected, only that the church might be the gainer in the end, and the conditions fixed in the treaties for peace, and the ends justifies the means. You have been taught your duty as a spy to gather all statistics, facts, and information in your power from every source, to ingratiate yourself into the confidence of the family circle of Protestants and heretics of every class and character, as well as that of the merchant, the banker, the lawyer, among the schools and universities and parliaments and legislatures and the judiciaries and councils of state, and to be all things to all men for the Pope's sake, whose servants we are unto death. You have received all your instructions heretofore as a novice, a neophyte, and you've served as coadjutor, confessor, and priest, but you have not yet been invested with all that is necessary to command in the army of Loyola in the service of the Pope. You must serve the proper time as the instrument and executioner is directed by your superiors, for none can command here who has not consecrated his labors with the blood of the heretic, for without the shedding of blood no man can be saved. Therefore, to fit yourself for your work and make your own salvation sure, you will, in addition to your former oath of obedience to your order and allegiance to the Pope, repeat after me.
This is where it gets weird, man. This is where it gets weird, I think.
Yeah, this is like super weird.
Yeah.
It says, I blank now in the presence of Almighty God, the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Blessed Michael the Archangel, the Blessed Saint John the Baptist, the Holy Apostles, St. Peter and St. Paul and all the saints and sacred hosts of heaven, and to you, my ghostly father, the Superior General of the Society of Jesus, founded by St. Ignatius Loyola in the pontificate of Paul III, and continued to the present, due by the womb of the Virgin, the matrix of God. The matrix of God.
See the matrix, dude. There's the matrix, man.
There's the matrix. And the rod of Jesus, declare and swear that His Holiness the Pope and Christ Vice Regent and is the true and only head of the Catholic or Universal Church throughout the earth, and that by virtues of the keys of binding and loosing, give to His Holiness by be destroyed. Okay, therefore, to the utmost of my power, I shall and will defend the doctrine of His Holiness, right and custom against all usurpers of the heretical. Sorry.
Heretical. That sounds like some kind of like a Joe, man.
Or Protestant authority, whatever. Especially the Lutheran of Germany.
Dude, if anyone tunes in right now, if
Germany.
anyone tunes in right now, they're gonna think we're some kind of mad militant bloody
it's so
Jesuit
crazy,
show, man.
But this isn't even the craraziness. Okay, you want me to just cut to the craziness?
Cut to the craziness, man.
Okay, so ready? I furthermore promise and declare that I will, when opportunity present, make and wage relentless war, secretly or openly, against all heretics, Protestants and liberals. You see that? Maybe like this whole conservative liberal thing? Maybe, just maybe, it's a war.
Well, think of the fact we've got a Jesuit inside the Vatican right now, right? But there's another kind of version of the secret oath they take, and I've just got like a couple of paragraphs here. Listen to this, right? At any time may be directed so to do by any agents of the Pope or superior of the Brotherhood of the Holy Father of the Society of Jesus, in confirmation of which I hereby dedicate my life, soul, and all corporal powers, and with the dagger which I now receive, I will subscribe my name written in blood in testimony thereof. And should I prove false or weaken in my determination, may my brethren and fellow soldiers of the militia of the Pope cut off my hands, my feet, and my throat from ear to ear, and my belly be opened up, and sulphur burned therein, with all the punishment that can be inflicted upon me on earth, and my soul shall be tortured by demons in eternal hell forever. Now, do you know why I bring that bit up? Because see that there when they're talking about cutting off the hands and the feet, and in particular, like slashing the belly? Yeah. That's purely a Masonic thing, dude.
Yeah.
That's big time, because see when they were talking about like Jack the Ripper and things back in the day, like some of the murders and stuff.
Yeah, they were identical. They were very similar to that. Listen to this. Yep. The oath, of course, was taken from the book Subterranean Rome by Carlos Didier. That was in 1843. But Dr. Alberto Rivera escaped from the Jesuit order in 1967, and his description of the Jesuit oath is exactly the same as it appears in the book. And then, of course, the Jesuit oath of induction is also recorded in the Congressional Record of the U.S. It's House Bill 1523. And that was contested election case of Eugene C. Bonnewell against Thomas S. Butler, February 15th, 1913. It was read into the Congressional Record. So there has to be something of, there's got to be something to it. It's real. It's not a conspiracy. The question is, how much of this, if you think about it, right? Because there's over 1 billion Catholics in the world. So how much of this is true, or this, it's like an extreme tiny minority, but even so, you're talking about like a CIA wing of the Vatican, basically. It's like an intelligence operation, if you will.
That's a really good way of describing it. Yeah. It's like the ninjas, dude. That's why I call them the ninjas.
But if the Vatican is its own nation state, why is that out of the realm of possibility, Kev? It's its own nation state with its own currency, its own national bank. I was just going to say, somebody
in the chat room, Asu Reloaded, he's the first pope that is both the Black Pope and the Pope in one. And he is the first Jesuit Pope, isn't he?
He is. He's the first Jesuit Pope.
But surely there'll be another person who is the Black Pope, because that's somebody behind the scenes, Joe, is it not? And he's been distracted by, I get what you're saying, but it'll be another Jesuit who's actually fulfilling that role as the Black Pope. So, and Joe's away in Angeland. So goodness knows where we'll go when he comes back. Here he is, look. Here he is.
Well, no, the brain is telling me, a very similar comparison would be like the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar were totally real. A lot of people consider them conspiratorial, but they're not.
No.
And so this is the same thing. It's a very tiny minority of people that create the club and have this club, like the Masons, like the Templars, like they're. Oh, wow. Yeah. Ange just said there was like some Jesuits in Long Island that reportedly trained some of those people. Like a Jesuit order. She's looking it up right now. The Jesuit Order of the Sword of Death. Blah.
Something like
that. Guy Wilson, let the Inquisitions begin. Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think anyone even denies that the Templars existed,
No, but you understand, like some of the stories, I guess you could say, are more sensationalized, let's say, than they probably should be. I guess Hollywood's got their hands on them, and
hang on, dude.
I guess they just don't do it justice. But if you look at some, like you have right there, Kev, of Rosslyn Chapel.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just need to get it. It's huge. transform. There you go. Look at that cross. I mean, that says it right there, and that's
that's it.
Yep. Someplace, man. Someplace.
Yeah.
Rosalind Chapel, and like I say, I mean, the Templars stopped there. What they left there, what they had there, who honestly knows, dude? But that's a place where I felt real, true woo. There's an energy there, Joe, big time. And
there's no doubt.
Again, right? Your mind can engineer that because obviously you know the history, or at least I've got an idea of the story and things. So again, it could be a self-fulfilling thing. You build up that energy yourself, but it's definitely a special location, man. Special.
Right. But I guess my point is all these groups are real, and most of this stuff is real. The problem is like I said, it's been romanticized, sensationalized, however you want. It's bastardized into the current version that it is, and it's just wrong. It's the same thing with the flood. I bring it up all the time. The flood has totally been, all the evidence suggests it did happen. Life before the flood was exciting Lord of the Rings-esque kind of craziness. And we're told that it's a bunch of freaking Neanderthals with brass tools and saws and crazy stuff. Ange said it's called the St. Ignatius Retreat House. And that's, it was like a Nassau County, Long Island Jesuit assassin farm.
Yeah, there it is there. The old Rosalind. Yeah. I was just playing that while you were talking there, Joe.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it's absolutely stunning, man. Stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad that it took a Dan Brown book to really put it on the map, though, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, okay, people knew about it, but then when you look at the tourists and the visitor numbers, that really propelled it into the public consciousness when he used it in the Da Vinci Code and the movie when Tom Hanks went there and things like that. It shows you that the power of movies there. It really kind of brought people's attention to what is, in my opinion, still one of the most mysterious stories. The whole thing about the Templars,
absolutely.
Joe. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, because for many people, that was their first exposure to that kind of stuff. And to be quite honest with you, Kev, it's so powerful. Hollywood's so powerful with their visual effects now and everything else. It's so real that that's the image that people have ingrained in their heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very powerful, extremely powerful.
It makes you wonder how much of our actual, our worldview, our idea of things is actually programmed into us from things we've seen from Hollywood, from, from information that's been given to us as opposed to us really thinking about it,
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt. It's a weird one. So, yes, Joe, we'll wrap it up soon. We've been on long. Yes, I know. We like to do the 90 minutes, don't we? So
90.
How about, right?
It's a perfect time.
How about we go to Mysterious Universe, right? I've got a story here. It's a perfect way to wrap things up.
Yeah.
I often talk about
that, dude. That is a place.
Talk about Boleskine House.
Woo.
Boleskine House, right? Crowley. And that's on Loch Ness, where I grew up. And then, boom. Here we go. Another sighting in the loch. People will think, why are you talking about sightings?
You mean a sighting of Nessie?
Mm-hmm.
A Nessie sighting, you say?
The only thing I find, kind of fishy here, if you pardon the pun. Do you like that one, Joe? Do you like that one?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, the only thing that's rather
Scottish charm.
You know it, dude. Delivered with an accent and the looks of a boyish 22-year-old, right?
I love it.
But the only thing I find monstrously fishy, boom, boom, is the fact that there's no actual image. Or does that make it almost more believable? Because we see so many fakes and things, right? And you think about it, you come across a random sighting of this thing. What's the chances that you just happen to have your phone out ready to take a picture at that time anyway? Because I would imagine, like, seeing a UFO, seeing anything paranormal, you're going to be in a kind of semi-state of shock. You're going to be kind of aghast at what's going on. And are you really going to have the wherewithal about you to grab the phone immediately, get it set up for that perfect shot, get it taken, boom, social media, 1 million hits? Or are you going to start fumbling about? You can start trying to shout people, draw their attention to it, and then before you know it, it's gone. But you still seen something. You still seen something mysterious, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to these CGI ones that are just ridiculous. But it says here, we have been to Loch Ness many times, but never seen the monster before. But I always like to look at the loch. I can't imagine how many pairs of eyes are on that loch at any one time. But I have spent periods looking at the water because you never know. You never know, especially when you're driving by the Loch Ness. In what is fast becoming a record-breaking year for sightings. Isn't that funny, Joe? We talk about the veil being the thinnest right now. And
right.
There you go. A couple on vacation and enjoying the view got the holiday picture and video of a lifetime and put themselves in the running for the annual Loch Ness Monster photo contest and cash
There's
prize.
A photo contest, an annual one at that. So Nessie shows herself that much.
But get this, in a world with deep fakes and CGI, surely competitions like that are rendered useless, right?
I would imagine.
Because in the end of the day, I mean, how are you going to be able to tell with some of the technology out there if what you're looking at is real or not?
You don't know. Look at it.
So it says here, right? But around 1:30 p.m., just after we had lunch, my husband was driving and I was in the passenger seat gazing out at the loch. Then I suddenly saw something and I said to Ian, there's something down there. Ian Davidson, being the good husband that he is, knowing his place in other words, had just finished a nice vacation lunch with his wife, Gloria, and was driving to the next vacation stop when he obediently pulled over to the side of the road, like a good dog, to observe that his wife saw, and then, quote in brackets, rather than telling her it was just her imagination and hitting the gas so he could make good time. Now, what she saw, she also captured on video for their friends, the world, and especially Gary Campbell of the Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. Now, you can click that. That takes us to the video. We'll take a quick look at this, Joe. We'll discuss it, and then we'll get out of here, right?
Yeah, man.
Here we go. So there's the video there.
It's beautiful.
Is it playing?
Oh, is it playing?
Doesn't look like it, does it?
Doesn't, no. I mean, unless it's a very slow video.
Oh, come on. That is not the Loch Ness Monster.
That is a duck.
That could be a piece of wood. That could be a dog out swimming. I'm not
impressed.
It's a duck.
Or, Kev, could it be a witch?
Could it be Crowley? Is Crowley coming back from the loch, dude? Did he like transform into a... I don't know.
Does it float?
Listen,
No.
that looks right. Obviously,
it's made of wood.
It's hard to tell. You don't get any real perspective, so you can't tell distance. But you've got the tree line there. That's not too far out into the loch.
You get a duck.
That's a duck or a dog, or you get otters in there. You know,
a black swan.
It could very well be. That's no monster. Come on.
Oh, where's the video?
Well, it wasn't playing, dude.
That's right, because it's probably the whole thing.
We'll try and reload it one more time.
Johnson, that's not the video.
There we go. We're playing it. See, it's not playing.
It's not a video. It looks like it's just a picture or something. What a weird thing. Oh, well. It's a duck.
I'm not impressed by that one. I don't think that's going to win the money.
No, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry. Oh, we got it incoming.
How can we join the cult of Yesh? Smoking if you got them.
How can we join the cult of Yesh? Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Oh, look. We got the video working.
Okay.
Hang on then. Hang on. Yeah, right. Here we go.
Loch Ness, and I think there is something.
Oh, get a grip.
It is something in the water. It's a duck.
That's bad. Come
on.
on.
Man.
Now, right, I'm going to scroll up there. What did Just a Guy say? You guys rock. Good show. How can we join the cult of Yesh? Smoke them if you've got them. Dude, that's the thing, right? Me and Joe, we don't even want people to listen to what we say, or at least we don't want them to believe what we say. Not to the point where you're like parroting things that me and Joe come out with, because that's when you do start to get into that whole mind control kind of cult thing. So, you know, we just do this. We have a laugh. We try and get to some really good information in between things. But no, I'm not into this whole forming one of these online internet cults that you see nowadays, Joe.
No, the cult of Yash.
No, it's not my kind of thing at
Your
all.
cup of tea, if you will.
I
Not to be
prefer my
stereotypical.
I prefer my cult shaken, not stirred, Joe.
Yash, if you will. Pardon.
So we're back tomorrow, right? And I think I've got a big one. I've got a big announcement for tomorrow.
You do? What's that?
Big announcement is, yeah. Scotty Lopez will be with us tomorrow.
He said that,
Yeah, but if I put it out there into the ether and people
what you're saying is that you are willing it, therefore it will happen.
Yeah, because he goes into hospital next week, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
We gotta take advantage of this so that we can do this.
Yep, absolutely, man.
Because I don't know how long he's going to be down for after that.
Yep. I want to give a shout out to everyone that tuned in today. Absolutely fantastic. If you want to support the channel, like you've seen people like Just a Guy doing and the other donations we had there, you can also get a subscription, a membership. I think it's pretty cool that YouTube gave us the memberships, and that gives you the emojis, stuff like that. Or there's a PayPal link as well, or you can just continue watching for free. It doesn't bother us. If you do, if you can, it's absolutely brilliant. If you can't, we'll still be back every week at the weekends. And fingers crossed, we'll have Freaky Friday back on its home of TFR next week, Joe.
Yes. Very much so. Thank you, everybody, for your support and for hanging with us, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
And now myself and Joe have to go to a meeting of the Order of the Foot. Yes, Joe.
For sure. Yes. Kneel before Zod.
Yes, exactly. We are out of here, folks. We'll catch you tomorrow, same time, same place. If they haven't banned us. They wouldn't ban us, Joe.
No, not us.
No. Maybe the Wookiee.
Perhaps.
We're out of here.